Hello, in this video we'll take a look at the assignments in Unit 4, Activity 3, and there'll be 2 assignments to complete. So if we look at assignment number 1, it's called Effective Graphic Texts. And so what you're going to do in this assignment is you're going to search online for examples of graphic texts. So you could find a table, a flowchart, a diagram, any of the types of graphic texts that were listed in the content of this activity. It's probably easiest to find your examples by using Google Images search, and I'll give you an example of how to do that here in a minute. Feel free to search for examples on topics that interest you. So if you like basketball, if you like fashion, if you like gardening or baking, it doesn't matter to me what the graphic texts are about, the topic. So feel free to look up something you're interested in. It might make the assignment a little more interesting. So for example, you could look up basketball flowcharts or fashion diagrams or gardening tables, right? Well, I guess table can be used in a couple different contexts there. But you can take whatever topic you like and find specific types of graphic texts that kind of explain something about that topic. Feel free to search for any of the types of graphic texts we've discussed in this activity. During your search, you're going to have to identify one graphic text that you think is effective and well done. And then you're going to have to identify one graphic text that you think is not effective. And then you're going to have to, of course, explain in paragraph form here. You're going to have to explain why the one graphic you found is effective and why the second graphic you found is not effective. So you're showing me that you understand what makes an effective graphic by finding an effective graphic and an ineffective graphic and explaining why. So make sure you're commenting on each graphic text's use of visual appeal, labels, titles, proximity to text, and compactness. If you need a refresher on those 5 criteria, go back to the content and reread near the top of the page where it explains those 5 criteria. Definitely check the rubric here. This is how your assignment will be graded. And when you've completed the assignment, you can submit to the Dropbox. Now, just to go back to Google Images here for a second, I would think the easiest way is to go into Google Images and then just type in the topic you want. So I could say basketball bar graph. And we'll find all of these different examples of basketball bar graphs, right? And so I could find 2 examples here and make sure not everything that pops up, like for example, this right here is not a bar graph, right? So not everything that pops up is going to fit your search perfectly. But I could find 2 bar graphs here, for example, and I could find one that I think is well done and one that I think is not well done, and then I can compare them. And you don't have to use 2 bar graphs. I could choose one here that I'd say I think is effective, and then maybe I could type in basketball flowcharts. Flowchart. And I could find examples of flowcharts that relate to basketball. So maybe I want to use one bar graph and one flowchart. It doesn't matter to me if you use different types of graphic texts, as long as one is effective and one is not. And you're going to explain why. And again, the way you explain why is by commenting on the visual appeal, by commenting on the proximity to text, on the compactness, on the titles and the labels, and showing that you can kind of dissect and explain a graphic text, okay? And so that's just a simple way. That's how I would go about finding my graphic texts. And so say I decide to take this graphic text right here. And so what I'd need to do is I'd need to copy this image, and I'd have to put it right into, say, a Google Doc or a Microsoft Word document. And then right below this image in your Google Doc, you could then write your 1 paragraph explaining why you think this is an effective or an ineffective graphic text. And then you'd find a second one. So say, hypothetically, I want to use this one, and I would copy and paste it, copy it here, and then I would paste it into the same Google Doc or Microsoft Word document. And then again, below this graphic text in your document, you would write a paragraph explaining why it is effective or not effective. Again, one last reminder, one of the graphics you choose must be effective, and you must explain why it's well done. And then the second one needs to be ineffective, and you need to be able to explain why it is a poor or not a well done graphic text. If you have any questions about the assignment, please let me know. Okay. There is a second assignment in this activity, and it is our final portfolio entry number 5. And so you've been doing these portfolio entries throughout the semester, and they'll all be handed in by Thursday, January 20th. Okay? They count as 10% of your final grade. So I'm hoping that you have one Microsoft Word document or Google Doc or whatever it is that you're typing your assignments in, with all of your portfolio entries in that one document. So you just have to submit the one document to me, okay? And so if we want to do our 5th and final entry here, this is the question. It says, in this unit, you learned about 3 different forms of presenting information. You learned about letters, memos, and now graphic texts. So letters are usually written in a formal, long-form manner. So you're writing long, complete sentences when you're writing letters, and usually a letter takes, say, a whole page. Whereas memos are usually short and direct, and they're often written in point form and not necessarily in full sentences. And then you have graphic texts, which of course combine images and written text. Right? So I'd like to know, what is the most effective way for you to take in information? Do you prefer to read long pieces of writing with full sentences, like letters? Or do you prefer to read shorter pieces of writing, which maybe use point form and are quick and get to the point quickly? Like, for example, if you read an instruction manual on how to put together a new product you bought, usually that's going to be written in quick bullet points. They're not usually going to write full paragraph and full page explanations, right? Or do you prefer graphic texts where words are combined with images? There is no right answer. I'm just asking your opinion, as we do with all of our portfolio entries. I'm asking you to write your own thoughts and your own opinions in your own words, and to write at least 10 sentences. And you do have to give specific examples, so you can use examples from this course if you like. You can use examples from your personal life if you like. It doesn't matter to me, but you need to back yourself up. So again, are you someone that likes to read long pieces of writing? Maybe you're someone that likes to read novels. Maybe you're someone that when you're trying to learn something, you like to read full essays and full documents. Or are you someone who likes to read short pieces of writing? So maybe you're someone that likes to get things in bullet points, and if someone is explaining something to you, you like them to do it in quick, short statements. Or third option, are you someone that likes graphic texts, and do you prefer a mixture of words and images? Does that help you better take in the information? Again, if you have any questions about either one of these 2 assignments, please let me know.